Shot of the moon. It's just all going to be like one shot. That's the point. Okay, so not only is it a full moon and also an eclipse tonight, but we're doing something here in Paradigm Shift London, and we want to like show you guys what we got going on, and also give you an idea for something that you can replicate on your end. And the basic idea that we are going to do with this is to put forth a single topic and then throw the idea around in a group. As people have ideas, they put their hand out, and the topic that we have chosen as an example for this, and that we want you to try replicating with your own topics. The topic we are going with is finding your true self. So I think we're actually starting with Derek, and we're just going to go for like literally like 4 or 5 minutes and see where this conversation takes us. So Derek, start us off.
The truth is paradoxical. In finding the inner meaning, you'll understand the outer. Symbols are the language of the universe, and experience over expectations are the lessons right here and now.
Hey, how's it going? Well, the idea of finding your true self, I think, it's kind of a bit of a fallacy in some ways to say that I have succeeded, I am my true self, only after this specific amount of time has passed and or I have obtained X number of ideal jobs, ideal situations. I think the idea of that book was kind of just to be content in the moment and realize that you don't have to identify yourself with a career, a choice, a lifestyle that's kind of limiting. You can identify yourself with the desire to be, the desire to live a certain way, or the I don't know, even just to not kind of just have this self-fulfilling prophecy of being like, I have to be this, or I won't be my true self, because then that's not so easily defined. And if you don't define yourself in such rigid terms, then you can kind of be a freer person and not be as wrapped up in the outcomes of life.
Nice.
That's awesome, man.
Segue, Jeremy.
All right, so one of the things I like to do is to try to repeat what I heard, and I was in the bathroom for all of that, so this is
I don't even know what I just said.
What I mainly heard was like pshh, as I was washing my hands, but no, that was helpful. All right, okay, and so being your true self, first thing that comes to my mind when that happens is, when this concept is brought up, is twofold. What is truth and what is self, and how do they relate to each other? So it's a really complicated subject. But I would just say that truth is non-exclusive. That's what I would say. Like, the truth is basically, is the concept of omnipresence in my mind. So everything has an amount of truth to it. If it has existence, it has truth. So, and truth actually supersedes that. Truth could be something that doesn't exist as well. So it's true that something doesn't exist. So truth is that greater concept of existence because it includes both existence and non-existence. So when we're talking about your one's true self, it's basically getting into, I would say, the entirety or the whole of the being of yourself. And what that is, that's a difficult question for me. That's the one I haven't answered. And then I guess the synthesis between the two concepts of truth and self would be just more complicated. I don't know. But truth is very simple, though. Truth is simple. Truth is just truth is what we've always taught existence. The word existence is supposed to mean, in my mind, at least. So when we say something, we talk about existence. Well, existence only includes what exists, and there's also everything which doesn't exist, and partial existence. So truth to me is that greater concept that encompasses all things, and everything is made out of and contains. And so self would just be one identity or object inside of that. So I don't know. I tend to just think theoretically, though. So if we're talking about true selves, that's probably not a very practical application. But if you can find one, then that's awesome for that. So I guess that's my thoughts on what your true self would be, and finding it. Good luck.
I tell the truth.
Matt's your hand up?
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't want to talk about the truth.
I think, yeah, this is all just practice, so yeah.
Just when I think about the topic of like finding your true self and becoming more
connected to your true self, I think of like seeing yourself different from how you are now, but also trying to live how you feel on the inside. Like, let's say, for a little example, you could be a vegetarian on the like vegetarian views, and you care about animals and stuff, but actually living it and actually like embodying your true self is something that we have to like work towards, and that even just the smallest step is one step closer to becoming your true self. Yeah, that's a pretty good explanation.
That's good. Somebody else? There we go. Go for
I
it.
talk about myself.
Talk about whatever you want.
Alright. This year I'm working towards being my true self, which to me is completely following my heart. And sometimes that's hard. I went into a bookstore to try to find books on, self-love and acceptance and, growth and being true to yourself. And she told me there's many books out there, but it's best that I don't buy one because the answers are within me, and if I really try, I will find the answer to my true self. So I'm working on that right now.
Nice. Alright. Anybody else got something?
See you later.
Alright, see you, Garrett. Later, dude.
Ignore those messages.
Alright, so we might actually be able to get a majority of everyone from the circle. And it wasn't like super short this time, but still, yeah, like it's still like good just to practice talking and sharing ideas. So go for it, Kyle.
So just to talk about like a personal experience, I've been carrying a lot of worry and anxiety with me lately. Just carrying a lot of like my past mistakes, perceived judgments and stuff. And a few nights ago I was feeling especially anxious, and I was at my desk, and I had a piece of paper and a pen, and I just, to be honest, I'm not sure why, but I wrote down the words realization, transformation, and then ascension. And to be honest, I took that as me telling myself, that's your goal in life, and obviously I'm still going through the first stage, and that's realization. But yeah, I hope to commit myself to that. Yeah.
Cool. Right on, man. Anybody else? Yeah? Okay.
So,
Go for it.
I think finding your true self will have to do with acceptance, because you have to accept the fact that you know what you want, or even that you don't really know what you want. So, which is why I'm here. I haven't found myself. So I'm here at Paradigm Shift thinking I'll eventually find out. So it's just about acceptance, I think. That's it.
Anybody else? I'll finish it off if not. No? Okay.
I have a question.
A question? I guess. Sure, go for it.
Okay. Vote of confidence. If this is all about finding your true self, but if you meet your true self, or find your true self, how will you know? Yeah. That's my question.
I think you would only be able to meet your true self at a certain given
But is there a
point along
certain
your path.
ascension that you'll reach, and suddenly everything will click and go, wow, I'm my true self, and then now what? It's like, what's next? I mean, it's almost like that idea of truth and being and having everything mesh in such a way that will justify even what we can perceive as these painful, anxiety-ridden moments of questioning everything. If we can get to an ascension, a point of ascension where we go, wow, that all makes sense now. But it's almost like, how will we know when we've reached that point? And it's almost like the journey of finding the true self is finding the true self.
Yeah, that sounds
And
right.
then even when you do reach that point, you are still to continue
you're still reaching a point,
continuing
yeah.
on with your true self. I mean, it's like, it's almost as if like what people had mentioned earlier about like, you know, anxiety or worry or all that, I think when you reach your true self, everything becomes like harmonized and peaceful, and your life becomes a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
Because you're staying true to who you are and what you want. Because I mean, lately I've been kind of selling myself short and just kind of going with whatever life hands to me and just saying, this is what I've got, so I'll take it.
Yeah.
Not trying to create anything better, which is going directly opposite from attaining like my true being,
Right.
which will cause a person a lot of turmoil. and
Yeah,
stuff.
for sure. If you're like out of alignment with
Yeah,
who you wanna be,
exactly.
That's
Yeah.
that's definitely like.
It's
I
like
know what you
finding
mean.
your compass. That word was in my head.
Yeah, that's a
And
cool
like finding your own compass.
You're like
your
center
direction
north,
of
yeah.
how you're going to be moving through life, and like that's your true self. I think it's like your Merkaba, your vehicle.
Yeah. All right, I'll throw in my ideas and just wrap this up to like with the intention of not keeping it too long and stuff. So, in the idea with finding your true self, kind of similar to a lot of ideas here, I think from my point of view, the thing that's really interesting about it is to open up to the idea of like us existing like beyond the present moment in a time sense, but also in the idea that like before we came into this incarnation, we actually set up like a contract for ourselves, and we were like, all right, I'm gonna go into this lifetime and like try and do this, try and do this, try and do this, try and do this, try and do this. And then we go through life and we put forth the best effort to try and do as many of those things as we can, and we like check them off as we go, but with the expectation that it's not necessary for us to get like 100%, so to speak. But as we sort of like check off these like things that we are gonna experience and go through to become stronger in the process, we begin to find more of like our true self. And I even use the term like the golden self. So I mean, the golden self can be thought of even just like physically, like, you know, like when we think of like the gods and like the Greek gods and everything, you know, like just striving to be just like strong body, strong mind, and like strong spirit as well. And just being more conscious of things such as like, you know, choosing to like not eat meat or anything like that. And yeah, like I think if you can go through, if you begin to align with your golden self, with your true self, it also means listening to your heart and following that which inspires you is like some of the best advice that I can give. And also you'll begin to notice synchronicities continue to click, and like what Danny said, like generally it's positivity. You'll notice the positivity, and not to say that there won't be challenges, but even when there are challenges, you'll still be able to embrace them as like obstacles to make you even stronger in the process. And yeah, I think like that's kind of just like part of the topic. So yeah. Okay, all right. Well, with that said, that again is just a sample of like kind of what discussion can come up here in a paradigm shift circle, like an open-minded discussion meditation circle. And we encourage you to get one started where you are, and it's not that hard. And check out the main website and all that, and change the world. All right, everybody, say goodbye to the internet. Bye, internet. Bye, internet. Bye, 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 bye. All right. Peace. One love.